Well, today's project is processing all of these pears. So yesterday we went to my brother and sister-in-law's and they have a very nice pear tree, and so we were able to pick all these. So I'm in the process right now of cutting them all up and filling the jars, doing our brine, and gonna water bath them. So I'll show you the whole process. So first you're gonna wanna wash them off, and I got these from my brother and sister-in-law, and so there's no spray on them. They don't do any chemicals, but there is some bird poop. So I just rinsed them with water and just kind of scrubbed them with my washcloth, and then I just cut them up like this. And you can either dice them or slice them. So I usually just go slices. Sometimes I'll cut in half, depending on how it is. So you just core them up. I leave the skins on. You could peel them, but I just feel like the skins are fine. For my little one, he started eating food at like probably 4, maybe 6 months old. And so the skins were a little bit hard for him to eat. So I usually would kind of scrape the inside out and then just toss the skin. But yeah, that's all I do with these. And once they're sliced to the slices I want, I take my jar and fill it up. So pears, you can't obviously push down really hard. So I just kind of shake it as I'm filling it, so that way it's filling in as much of the gaps in the jar as I can. And then you want it, I fill it to like there, and then I kind of bang it and shake it just to get it all the way down, and then I just top off the last little bit of it. Maybe just kind of finagle them around so it's in there nice and tight, but you don't want them smushed, obviously. And then I just keep on going, keep on filling, and then we're gonna put our brine in here once our sugar is dissolved up. And then wipe our rims off and put our lids and rings on. Like that. And then you want to leave, you know, your inch to half inch to inch headspace in the jars. So that's that. Now time to go over here and check our brine. It's looking done. I don't see any more sugar in there. So that can get shut off. And then we're gonna fill our jars. Okay, so time to fill the jars. So I just have my little ladle. Using that to fill these. And you're gonna wanna leave about a half inch. I basically just fill my jars always until it's to where the threads start on the jar, and then I know I have enough headspace for expansion or anything like that. So I'm hoping with these jars I get a full canner to get this started, because I have a lot of pears left to process today. So this is all you do. Okay, now you just take, once your jar is full with the brine, you just take your washcloth and you want to wash off your ring or your rim. Make sure it's nice and clean. Take your lid and your ring and put on finger tight. And then I had checked all my lids beforehand. I always reuse lids if they look fine, but I just check them beforehand and make sure there's no like messed up spots on them. Gotta fill one more to get a full canner. Okay, so I got that last jar filled, and then you're gonna wanna make sure that your jars are covered all the way with water. So this one's not yet, so I'm gonna add a little more water. Okay, so now they're all covered. So I'm gonna find my canning cover and put that on here, but I have this on high heat, and I'm gonna let this cook until it starts to kind of simmer, and then that's usually the point that I set my timer. And then for the pears, it says, well, let's see, it says bring water to a boil and process for 25 minutes. So I guess on pears you bring to a boil. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll set the timer for 25 minutes and see how it goes. Okay, so I'm just gonna set the timer now and then let this go. I'll just leave the heat high and then let it go for 25 minutes. And then once it gets a rolling boil, I'll turn my heat down to, I don't know, medium or low probably. Okay, this is really starting to boil away. I took the cover off so it went down a little bit. So I'm gonna turn it down to medium heat now and then just leave the cover on. Okay, the timer just went off. Time to pull them out of the canner. Pretty bubbly. They look good. Sounds like maybe some of my lids loosened some. So I might have to check some of them.
Like them really hot.
Yeah, Mom will use a rag. So there we go, one batch done. Now I gotta get my next ones going. Oh, that one's a little loose. They're fine. All right, we'll see if they seal. Okay, so I figured I'd do a couple comments. For sugar, I use just a raw sugar I get at Costco, and then, or like a raw organic sugar. And then I was gonna say too, if you don't know like your source of where you're getting the pears, if you don't know that they're from an organic or like a naturally grown source, I would soak them for a few minutes at least in a vinegar, just a white vinegar water solution. I'll do that a lot with like grapes and other produce that I haven't found organic sources of. I'll just put some cold water in a bowl or in my sink and then put a few tablespoons of white vinegar in there and then let them sit for anywhere from like 8 to 10, sometimes if I forget, do like 15 minutes. But that would just get any of the chemicals, at least off the exterior of the fruit. And then also, if you're not on well water, I would fill your jars with filtered water, because obviously you don't want the chemicals or the bleach or that sort of stuff in your canned produce. But yeah, so just a few friendly tips. And then if your jars don't seal, just put them in your fridge and enjoy them over the next couple weeks or however long it takes you to finish them all off. But so far, out of my first, let's see, it must be 3 batches, they've all sealed. So I'm finally cutting up my last pear. I have 1 batch in the canner right now. I'm gonna have to fill all my jars with these that I just finished up. So here's my full bowl. Here's my canner steaming away full, and then all my jars that have sealed so far. So yeah, it's been a successful day so far. I'm excited.